All right, quick introduction. I am the territory manager for New England for Synergy Reps. I have 3+ years of experience in the HVAC industry. Prior background includes sales, marketing, and I also worked as a chimney technician. It does say please hold your questions until the end, but that's kind of up to you, Paul. And we do have a Facebook and YouTube page. SMS team, it does have a YouTube page that we will send you a link to, as well as the Facebook page. We're always pumping out new content on there as far as Ultravation goes, and a bunch of other products that we represent will be on there as well. So It is kind of a cool little spot to get educated on new products and also existing products. I'll send you a follow-up email on that and also everything that we speak about today. So go ahead and jump on to the next slide here. So our agenda today is to define IAQ technology. We are going to understand UVC versus UVGI. We are going to go over ASHRAE's recommendations. We are going to look at product recommendations in adherence to ASHRAE, and we are going to differentiate from the competition. Go ahead and jump to the next. So something that we are going to look at through this entire presentation is the when, where, and why. So we have to look at when to install IAQ, where to install it, and why to install it. So basically we're going to look at what we're trying to solve for, where we're trying to solve for it at, and when to do it. So that is going to be your filtration, your UV disinfection, and your UV air purification. We did show you this picture here. This is going to show you a few of our products here in a residential situation. First, if you look up in the upper right, you're going to see our Orion product. That is our ionization product that's going to electrically charge the particles in the air. And that's basically going to, in simplistic terms, clump up the particles, allowing them to be caught in the air filter better. So your air filter, especially if you use our MERV 11 and MERV 13 air filters, do a great job at catching the particles, but unless you are 100% closing off airflow, you're not going to be able to catch everything. So what the Orion does is it does clump those up and allows those particles to be caught even better. So that's one of your first defenses against for filtration. And then next you're going to look at disinfection for coil treatment. So you'll see there the UV light over the coil. So a lot of times when you're treating for bacteria, you're going to want to treat over the coil. Then next you're going to see our Solaris product. That's going to be treating in the airstream. And we're going to get into each of these products individually as well, to go a little bit more in detail. So go ahead and jump to the next. So first, this is where we are going to define the different IAQ technologies. So these are the common IAQ technologies. The first one is UVGI. So UVGI is ultraviolet germicidal irradiation. It is a disinfection method that uses short wavelength light, UVC, to kill or inactivate microorganisms. This occurs by destroying nucleic acids and disrupting their DNA, leaving them unable to perform vital cellular functions. PCO is our next one. PCO is photocatalytic oxidation. It is a very powerful process that combines UVC irradiation with a substance catalyst, titanium dioxide, TiO2. This catalyst effect results in a reaction that breaks apart the cellular structures of pollutants. Scott, did you want to play that video on that one?
We can, yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play that one. And so kind of give you a visual representation of what's happening when PCO.
Can you send me these slides when we're done, Ron?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have it in physically, we have it in physical. Actually, you'll get this whole thing as a video too. Yeah. And actually, these videos, all the videos we're about to show you are all on our YouTube as well. So.
Okay.
Here's how it works. The UV Photomix Advanced Oxidation Module is coated with an exclusive titanium dioxide formulation. When UV light is applied to the surface, the titanium dioxide coating becomes energized, causing it to release electrons. The electrons then combine with oxygen to create what are known as superoxides. The titanium dioxide then collects replacement electrons from moisture in the air to become charged particles known as hydroxyl radicals. Together with the superoxides, a powerful photocatalytic oxidation, or PCO field, is created. As odors, germs, mold, and other VOC organic molecules approach the PCO field, they are disassembled as the oxidizers pull electrons from them. The purification process is completed, with the remaining molecules recombining to form simple water vapor and trace amounts of carbon dioxide. Ultravation's advanced oxidation process.
Yeah, so that kind of gives you a visual representation on how PCO actually works in conjunction with UVC/UVGI technology. Looks like we're seeing the Orion video there, Scott.
Yep.
Okay, so we can go ahead and, okay, let's read the definition first and then we'll jump to that video. So ionization, this is going to be what our Orion product does. So ionization electrically charges our air molecules by generating negative ions using electricity and discharging them. These negative ions attach to positively charged particles and triggers a bond to create denser particles. So we do have a video on this too that'll give you a visual representation as well. So this is basically what I was talking about at the beginning there when I showed you the product right before the air filter that's electrically charging the particles before they hit the air filter. So this is the different particles, bacteria, viruses, allergens, mold, all these things are being clumped up and they're able to be caught in the air filter. So they don't continue to circulate through the air. Very good, especially if you have if you have pets, if people are smoking, cooking a lot, any of that type of stuff. It definitely helps out with that kind of thing.
These can only be used in a ducted system, or do you have anything that's freestanding, or?
Go ahead, Scott.
It sounds like there's feedback on one of your ends.
Okay.
I was just saying that the ionizer can be used, yes, primarily in the duct work, but I mean, we'd have people using these in ice machines and other environments as well. So, I mean, the best effectiveness is obviously having a controlled airflow passing by the generator. So that way it is attacking that air that you have in a captured environment, ergo a ductwork. So yes, there are people trying to use other technologies in freestanding products like, for example, mini splits and ductless and stuff like that, but we have our own recommended products for that are different than this. So is that what you were trying to clarify?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay.
And negative ions are what?
Well,
Broken molecules, is that?
Well, you're fast forwarding the definition, but basically it's a thunderstorm in a box, right? So lightning across the sky electrically charges the atmosphere all the time, and you get that clean air smell. Well, they figured out how to turn that into a generator and say, great, I got positive ions, I got negative ions. So it's generating both, because depending on the particles in the air, maybe some are more positively charged and negatively charged. And because it's releasing both, it's getting them to attract to each other, bond to each other, while also breaking them down. But also, as he hinted earlier, they were going to plump up and then get caught in that filter a little bit more effective, because there's a lot of airborne particulates you cannot see to the naked eye. Very, very micro components. We have literature that shows how small stuff can be way smaller than the human hair. You have dust mites, things of that nature. So yeah, basically you got a little thunderstorm in a box.
There you go.
We'll show you some more information on that later, but that's how I sum it up anyway.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah.
So we'll jump to the next slide here. So ashtray's position, I'm not going to go into each of these definitions, but I'm going to give you a brief overview of these, and I will send you the link to these so you can read the articles on these. But basically what it's saying is to treat the airstream and treat the surface with UVGI technology, which is found in UVC lamps. And on our next slide here, when Scott jumps over to it, we are going to go through the connection through UVC and UVGI. So we're going to understand UVC energy. And if you look at the chart right there, it's going to show the UV spectrum So we know X-ray, we know visible light, we know the different forms of UV. UVC is the most potent, the most dangerous when it comes to ultraviolet light. So you do have UVC, you do have UVB, you have UVA. Those are the different forms of UV, ultraviolet light. So germicidal light, aka UVC, it is the most concentrated energy packet that is found in the UV spectrum. The more destructive packet of energy that does not reflect or refract nearly at all. The most dangerous form of ultraviolet light. UVC energy renders microorganisms lifeless in a fraction of a second. So you start to realize how dangerous it is, but that's why it is so effective at the same time. UVC lamps also.
Skin.
Yeah, so that's why it's a good idea to do a lot of trainings and be educated on this kind of stuff, because it is dangerous. It isn't for your typical homeowner to install. You need to understand what you're dealing with when dealing with UVC lamps. So let's see. We can go ahead and jump to the next slide here.
Now, I will pause real quick, Ron. A lot of guys have been really asking me to go back to this when I do these presentations, and they really like this purple sphere. The reason why, Paul, is because it's just really showing you the potency when you start moving from the center, which is, picture that being the very end tip of the bulb. So they're just showing you as you move away distance from the bulb, you're obviously going to reduce the potency of the bulbs. This is why when bulbs are mounted, for example, for coil surface treatment, they want you to have them closer, right? So you want to have maximum disinfection rate. So it is still effective over a foot away. But as you can tell from the microwatts there, it's like, oh yeah, the closer I get, the stronger the emission is coming off of that for the irradiation process. So they seem to love that.
And is there an issue with how close you get to the coil with the pan?
As far as drain pan?
Yeah, the drain pan. As far as doing damage to the drain pan.
Oh yeah, so we always go over like install tips, like for example, if you, depending on the environment, maybe you have a lot of plastics wiring insulation nearby, well then you may want to be using foil tape just to cover them up. We even have, a lot of our products have directional shielding. So you clip the shield onto the bulb and then you can direct the light where you want it for more of a focus area. And that way, if there's wiring behind that, the shield's helping protect that. So again, the wiring needs to be within a foot or less to really degrade it over time as far as the insulation. But that is a known concern. So yeah. And again, Ron will show you some of that stuff too. The whole directional shielding is a nice touch. We have that on our ductless product as well.
Okay.
So this is getting a little bit of feedback there. There we go. Okay.
That's your headset.
So is this mine?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the big thing we want to take away today is UVC and UVGI technology. So this is in accordance with ASHRAE and what they recommend. They recommend using UVGI technology. UVGI technology is only found in UVC lamps. UVC lamps is what Ultravation uses in their products. So UVC is the lamp type and is also part of the electromagnetic UV spectrum. UVGI is the technology / tool that is generated by using a UVC lamp to sterilize / neutralize pollutants. UVC lamps used directly on the coil performs UVGI on the coil. UVC lamps installed in the airstream by themselves do UVGI in the airstream. UVC lamps in an upper room unit do UVGI in an upper room application. UVC lamps used in combination with titanium dioxide coated products for PCO do UVGI in the airstream plus PCO. So basically, in order to get UVGI technology, which ASHRAE recommends that you use to kill bacteria and viruses, you need to use UVC lamps. So it's fair to say any of the products with UVC lamps do UVGI in addition to other technologies that UVGI may be combined with. So go ahead to the next slide. So now we are going to jump into our UVC bulbs from Ultravation. We do have normal UVC bulbs at Ultravation, but we also do have a UVC bulb that we call the T3 bulb, which actually gives 40% more energy. So we are going to look at that and how that is actually better than a typical UVC bulb. So first, I'm going to point you down to actually let's look at the first picture there. So it is an insulated gas. So it's an insulated gas that protects cold air, and it is covered with a quartz. Now, if we look at the bottom right picture, we are going to start to understand efficiency of the T3 lamp versus a normal UVC lamp. So the red dot on the chart there shows a normal typical UV lamp at about 60% efficiency. And then you're going to look all the way up to the top at the T3 lamp that's showing about 100% efficiency. Now, the T3 lamp technology allows for higher levels of UV disinfection, lower overall electrical cost and installation process. Lamps are protected from moisture and debris, allowing for longer service life. And another thing with our T3 bulbs, the T3 bulbs do have a 2-year lamp life on them as well. So you do have your choice on either the T3 bulb or the normal UVC lamp, but we typically recommend to go with the T3 just because of all the extra benefits plus the 2-year lamp life on these bulbs. We'll go ahead and jump to the next, please.
Maybe pause on this for a second for Paul's benefit. The real thing that the contractors that I've trained on outside of our wholesale circle that benefits them is helping them understand there's a clear design difference here. Like we've actually taken a standard UVC bulb and we just encapsulated it in a quartz sleeve. And with that insulation gas between the bulb and the quartz sleeve, that helps the bulb reach its peak potential, right? So if you were trying to run a cooling system middle of summer, that's preventing that bulb from reaching its peak potential because it's constantly being bombarded by cold air all the time. Well, this is a great way to basically insulate the bulb, protect the bulb, and allow it to burn at a more peak efficiency for the radiation process. So that's why we patented it and called it a T3. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Little insulation.
Can that be used as a replacement for anybody else's or no?
We don't really talk to that. I don't know how everybody does their bulb designs. Most of our bulb tech is, we have a relationship with Philips. They're one of the biggest bulb manufacturers in the world. So they make our designs. I don't know if they use the same 4-prong plug. We have 4 prongs on the end of our lamp. I have no idea. So
I
we
haven't
can't
heard
speak
of
to competition. So, but yeah, not all bulbs are created equal is what I've been saying lately. So,
Right.
Yeah. And as Ron will show you, our higher end products, all T3. We don't even bother. We give you the full 2-year life. All bulbs are warranty for 2 years, but you don't get a 2-year life cycle unless it's a T3. So.
Got it.
And actually, I think the feedback has come from Paul's end. I think his mic is picking up on his speaker. So I'm going to test something real quick, Paul.
I'll mute mine. I'll mute mine when I'm not talking.
There we go. We're going to try that out. It happens to computers all the time. I've learned so much about technology more as I've been doing these.
It usually happens to my computer, so it's nice.
Hey, this is how we survive, my friends. We got to make Zoom work. So I think that worked. Go ahead, Ron.
All right. So earlier in the presentation, we were asking what we're trying to solve for when it comes to IAQ. So a lot of times we're looking if we're trying to solve for bacteria, if we're trying to solve for viruses, or if we're trying to solve for a combination of both. So if we're looking at the chart on the right, in the blue, typically that is coil treatment is what is shown there in the blue, and the green is airstream treatment. On the bottom there, it's bacteria towards the top. So like the ecovirus is more of an airstream virus. So I'm sorry, that's a virus. The ecovirus is a virus, and down at the bottom, that is a bacteria. So in the blue, it's mainly a surface level treatment. So 99.96% of that bacteria can be treated by just treating the surface. Now, if you look at the eco virus, only 23.92% of that can be treated by surface. So the rest of that, you need to treat the airstream as well. So if you're trying to treat for the eco virus, you need to treat for airstream and surface. So it is very important for a contractor when he goes into a residence or if he goes into a commercial setting to ask the person, what are you trying to solve for? Is it a certain virus, a certain bacteria? And they need to recommend products accordingly. And we can help out with that. If people have certain things that they're trying to solve for, they need to take the measurements, they need to bring that back to us, and we can help recommend what products they need to use and how much of that product they need to use to solve for those particular viruses or bacteria. So we typically recommend that you do a coil/surface treatment and an airstream treatment for an all-around type of treatment. I think that's your best case scenario most of the time. So we'll go ahead and jump to the next slide. So we'll look at residential products first, and then we'll jump into a little bit of the commercial products. So these are some of our more popular residential products, just to give you an idea what we're going to be looking at, and we're going to get into each of these individually in the next couple slides. Go ahead and jump to the next. So first we're going to look at the UV Advantage. This is going to be our entry level model for treating coils. This will treat a little bit of that air as well, but this is basically for coil treatment. So you can get this just as a surface treatment with just the UVC lamp that does UVGI technology, and you do have the option to add on a PCO carbon module to that as well. So it does increase HVAC efficiency and does inhibit allergens. The PCO is very good for removing odors. You can get that in a 12 or 17-inch lamp. It is a throwaway unit, and what that means is that basically instead of replacing just the bulb every year or two, you will just replace the entire unit. And you just basically take out the 4 screws, pull it out, replace it with a new one every year or two. It is always in warranty because it does have a 1-year warranty if you have the 1-year bulb, or a 2-year warranty if you have the 2-year bulb. So the notable options, 1 or 2 year lamp life, depending on what bulb you get. It is a standalone UV. It does do UV with PCO module if you choose to go with the PCO module as well. T3 UV with PCO module is an option for you. And it does have a standard and magnetic mount to it as well. This is a really good entry level model to get started with indoor air quality. People are kind of on the fence with getting into IAQ products. This is a great product to get involved with. It's not a relatively expensive item, and it's easy to install, and it does have the option to do the surface treatment and the PCO as well.
So Ron, this UVC Advantage, is it just the lamp, or is there PCO with it?
So you do have the option. You can either buy this. So as far as a distributor goes, as far as you guys go, you can bring just the lamp in, and then you can also bring in the option of PCO to buy separately, or you can bring this in as a full package with the lamp and the PCO combined. So it's up to you guys. Some people just want the lamp, other people want the lamp and the PCO together, but you guys can bring in just the lamp and then have the option to add PCO to it as well.
One of my wholesalers in New York does that. They keep them all as separate SKUs. And then the issue there is then you're adding extra effort into a sales process because people forget about the accessories and they're just grabbing lamps, which is great for the coil, but then you're missing out on an entry level opportunity to try and add a little extra air purification in if they forget about those accessories.
Right. I think personally well, Scott, you can give your opinion on this too, depending on room with something like this with the PCO. If you didn't have the room to have the PCO on it over the coils, would it be better to have the PCO separate?
If we're talking about an old school traditional A coil, right, there's only so much space under that A coil. So I'm going to throw that lamp in and be done. So the cool thing is I could just buy the PCO accessory and then add that up there with another lamp up there into plenum. For example, in my coil in my basement, I have a Z coil. So it's parked right on top. When I got this house, they never put cooling in. They upgraded everything and didn't have a coil, didn't have a condenser. And I'm like, oh, okay, you did all new ductwork, did all new furnace. What were you thinking? So we added a coil up on top of the unit, threw the unit outside, ready to go. We got air conditioning, central air is done. So with that Z coil, I couldn't fit just one lamp obviously under it. It was very tight. So we went just on top of it, right into the plenum, right above it, and went 2 coils shining directly down onto my coil. And then obviously I've got space in that plenum to have the PCO capacity, et cetera. So if I was trying to go low key, I could have probably pulled it off with just one of these by coming in from the side and putting the bulb across the entire Z coil. But I decided to go for like double potency. So I just threw 2 lamps in right from the front of the equipment. So it was, I was getting maximum coverage over that, but that's just me. I like to overdo everything.
Yeah, so I think it might be a good idea to bring in the coil and then bring on the PCO as a separate SKU to have as an add-on.
The biggest thing is if you have that good, better, best, right? Like Ron's going to show you the better and the best options next, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, the whole point of this product's invention was we were the first ones to create a throwaway product. So nobody can beat you for entry level access like we can, because we created the first throwaway product. So it's not our higher end bulbs. So that keeps the price point down. So that helps people work with the lower income bracket, trying to help people get some air purification, cleaner coils at a more entry level. It's not going to be the nicer stuff that Ron's about to show you. So.
Yeah, this is a great product though. We definitely push this one, and I think it's a great option for anybody to bring in for an entry level IAQ product, and you can add PCO to it, and that way you have just the lamps, and then you have that added PCO if you want it as well. So, did you have any other questions, Paul? All right. We do have the PowerPCO as well on the Advantage, which is kind of like an upgrade Advantage that you would put in over the coil. You could also put this in the Airstream as well. This does do the UVGI technology, including PCO. It does have a 2-year replacement T3 bulb with 40% more UV. It is PCO infused carbon, does not emit any ozone, does have PCO coated panels. It's good for removing common odors such as cooking, trash, bathrooms, laundry, smoke, smog. Yeah, kind of like the UVC Advantage, just a little bit better because of the titanium.
I say it's the Advantage on steroids.
Yeah, pretty much. Just like,
I mean, that's all they did. They said, great, let's make a beefier product. We added some extra metal surface area so we can create even more PCO because the metal has the titanium dioxide plus that carbon module you saw in the last slide. So we're saying, all right, if I was looking for a middle tier product and I'm reducing my SKU management, right, that's the same exact Advantage bulbs. So I could offer the entry level Advantage plus the Advantage PowerPCO, and I'm stocking the same replacement lamps, 12-inch or 17-inch. It just depends on how you're building out your tiering and what you want to offer. So it's, again, same throwaway design. The difference though on this one, it's only T3. So
So it depends. It basically depends on what your customers are willing to do for price point, I think, as well. So trying to add as much technology into something at a reasonable price. There are better products for what you could use this for as well. So if you want an entry-level product, UVC Advantage. If you want a better Airstream disinfection, we do have better products for that. So it depends. And we're
So are
going-
these, excuse me, are these two different installs, or is this just one?
This one has to go in the plenum. Yeah, there's no way you're fitting that inside of a coil.
right.
Yeah. Well, what,
So
the
it's
way
the
I just
PCO,
described it. Yeah.
it's the PCO and the UV light.
Yeah, this the way, the exact way that is shown, that is exactly how it comes out of the box. There's no scaling like the last slide. Like here, I could just order the lamp. I don't have to have the accessory. I don't have to have PCO. It's all pieces if I wanted it to. This one, it has to be, it comes with the T3 bulb. It's already built with that apparatus. There's no way you're fitting that under a coil. You can go on top of the coil, like I was hinting, like I did in my basement, right above that Z coil. This could have worked because I had room in my plenum for that. So, so this would be technically going above the coil for coil treatment, but you're gaining the increased air purification because of the increased surface area that they provided for the reaction. So,
All right.
good clarification. But as Ron hinted, there's something better coming.
Yeah. So this is basically it. We can go ahead and jump to the next one, to the Solaris. If you're going to do an in Airstream product, we're going to recommend either the Solaris or the Catalyst, and we'll go into the differences between the two. So coil treatment, UVC advantage, Airstream disinfection, Catalyst or Solaris. This is the Solaris, and this is our product for Airstream disinfection with the most technology. So in this product, this is our direct competitor with the Remi Halo as well. So this does have active photocatalytic plus silver ion oxidation. It does have 4 times plasma generation, does kill household odors, kills bacteria and viruses, does give you that thunderstorm fresh air from the ionization. It does have a lifetime warranty on it as well. It does have a standalone Solaris with the option to add a 12-inch or a 17-inch easy light for coils treatment. So basically, in a nutshell, this does UV light, it does PCO, and it does ionization all in the Airstream. And then it has the option to plug a UVC lamp into this that you will put over the coils. So this is an awesome product because you can put this in the Airstream to treat the Airstream, and then you can just plug in a UVC lamp into this and then mount that over your coils. So you get the surface treatment and you get the Airstream treatment in one product. So this is our top of the line product to treat for residential bacteria and viruses. And this is our direct competitor with the Remi Halo as well. We can go ahead and jump to the next one.
On that last slide, though, can you go back to the last slide?
Yep.
It looks like there's the UV light, and then you have the Solaris Air Purifier.
Yep.
Right? Am I correct?
You are. So
there's 2 installs.
yeah. So what I was saying with this, if you look at the Solaris in the Airstream right there, so you see the plenum with the Solaris in it. That is treating the Airstream there. Now, you do have the option to plug in another UVC lamp that then you would mount over the coils. So you can add that 12 or 17-inch lamp, you plug it into the Solaris, and then you mount that right over the coils.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, Paul, we sell an accessory lamp called the Easy Light 6P. And that is a direct plug for this product. So the contractor only has to wire power to the power head of the Solaris. If they decide, per ASHRAE recommendations, to do coil plus Airstream, great. All I have to do is order that 6P accessory. You can get it with a Y jack plug. When I open up this power head, I just plug that Y jack in, and now I'm powering the Solaris and I'm powering the 6P. So from an install standpoint, from a wiring standpoint, it is very simple to take care of my coil treatment because I'm just focusing on the Solaris power head. Now, granted, yes, you're still going to have to install that said coil lamp down on the coil, whether, and again, it's 12-inch, 17-inch, depending on the size of the coil. So from an install standpoint, we're trying to make it easier from a wiring perspective because it's a scalable product. Most of the other stuff, which Ron's about to get into in the next few slides, you'll find out the competition doesn't make them scalable. So, does that help?
Yeah, my question was, is it an all-in-one piece? And it's not. It's really
Right.
two different installs. Okay.
Right. Yeah, because you can't really cover everything in one. Yeah, you still got to
Yeah.
take care of the coil. So.
Gotcha.
You just eliminate wiring it into,
Yeah.
you eliminate two different wirings.
Yeah, if I'm tapping off the power off the equipment, I only have to tap once. So.
Right. All right, go ahead and jump to the next slide. So the Solaris definitely has the most technology into it. That's what we recommend for residential applications is our top product. The other product that we recommend for residential that does something similar as a Solaris but does not emit any ozone is the UV catalyst. The UV catalyst does basically everything that the Solaris does except for ionization. So it does the UV treatment and it also does the PCO, but it does not do ionization. And it does not emit any ozone either. So depending on your customer base, some people do not like the smell that ozone does emit. That is going to be a preference factor with a lot of people. So a lot of people don't mind it. Some people even like the smell that comes off of it. So that is going to be a preference thing. But the UV catalyst does have the whole house odor reduction. It is a whole house air purification. It does have the activated carbon PCO that actually absorbs any ozone that is emitted. That's why it does not emit any ozone, because the carbon actually absorbs it. It does have a self-charging carbon for 10 years. In the lamp monitoring system, basically lets you know when the lamp is that it's working at optimal efficiency. You do have the same options as far as a 12 or 17-inch lamp that you can plug into the system to go over the coils as well. All right. Go ahead and go on to the next. So we did want to get into our Solaris versus the Remi Halo. We know that the Remi Halo is a big product out there. We wanted to kind of differentiate ourselves from the competition. So we wanted to go through our exact cross reference to show why our product may be better than the Remi Halo. So Scott's going to bring up our cross reference, make it a little bit bigger there, and we're going to show how we stack up against the Remi Halo and also the APCO. We're going to focus more on us versus the Remi Halo since it is, well, it looks like we lost our screen share there.
Too many programs open. I needed another swap. There you go.
There we go. All right. All right, so base operation, you'll see our Solaris is on the left, the Remi Halo is all the way on the right. The APCO is really not a competition. We put it on there because it is one of the leaders out there, but it's really not a competition. So we'll look at us versus the Remi Halo. We both use active PCO. Additional technologies, we do have a dual band UV bipolar ionization, UV surface and air disinfection. They do have a bipolar ionization. As far as UV lamps go, we have a dual band 10-inch lamp. They have a single band 6-inch lamp. Catalyst surface and reactor dimension, that is basically referring to the amount of area that titanium dioxide / PCO takes place. We have 200 square inches. They have 26.76 inches that can take place on. And you can kind of see how small theirs is compared to ours.
I would say, Ron, you should probably clarify. It's hard for the photo of the Solaris, but why do we have so much surface area based on our design?
Basically, how many sides is it, Scott? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 sides.
But there's another layer beneath.
Yeah, that you just can't see. If you saw it in person, you'd kind of be able to see that a little bit better.
Basically, you wrapped it 2 times over.
Right.
So.
Construction is a big deal when it comes to any product. For that matter, our construction is a stainless steel and aluminum. theirs is plastic and aluminum. So obviously when working with any type of product, it's better to have a better construction. As far as PCO goes, for odor reduction and airstream disinfection, we use an exclusive patented titanium dioxide silver AG blend PCO coating. Its silver ions reduce pathogens in the air and on surfaces. They use a titanium dioxide blend with zinc ion disinfection emission. PCO adjustability. We use a 4-inch adjustment range. It never blocks or limits UV disinfection. They also have an adjustment that is only 2 inches, and it does restrict the UV disinfection. So basically what this is saying, so the PCO reaction with UV is what's taking place, and that's what is emitting the ozone, and that is what is creating the smell, and that is what you can turn down if you choose to. When you turn theirs down, it actually limits the UV disinfection on their product. When you turn ours down, which we even have a greater range that you can turn ours down to, it never limits the UV range or it never limits the UV disinfection that ours can do.
Yeah, the short skinny on it is when you adjust theirs, there's like little panels that come out and block these openings, which is blocking the emission of the UV into the airstream. Ours, we don't block anything. There's a special sleeve that is moving back and forth over part of that process within our unit. So we're never blocking any of those holes of the metal or anything. All the air's still passing by, doing the field, everything. So if you try and adjust theirs, there's like slots that come closed on their ballast. So definitely a major boost of engineering feats on our end.
Yeah. As far as electronics / lamp monitoring goes, we do have an electronic lamp operation monitor with end of lamp life notification. They do not have one that we're aware of that notifies you when the lamp life is over. Ionization for particulate reduction and surface disinfection. We do have a 4 needlepoint electrode negative and positive ion generator. They have a 2 electrode negative and positive ion generator. Expandability. This is what we find very important to treat surface coils. Is our unit does power an optional remote UV lamp or additional PCO module. Theirs does not have that option. Warranty is another huge factor when it comes to our product. We do have a lifetime warranty with a 2-year warranty for UV lamp. They do have a 2-year PCO, 5-year ballast, no warranty on parts that are outsourced. All right. Did you have any questions on that one, Paul? All right. Go ahead and jump to the next slide. So this is our portable air purifier. This is something that we've been receiving some orders on lately, so we wanted to include it in our presentation here today. This is going to be really good for, say, laundry rooms, offices, maybe smaller classrooms, places that maybe don't have ductwork, or you want to add a little bit more air purification in. So this is our tabletop unit. You can see how small it is when it's right next to, say, a little set of keys. It's not very big, but it is a tabletop air purifier. It goes up to spaces up to 500 square feet, controls odors, deactivates airborne bacteria, viruses, and allergens. Notable options for counter or desktop install, offices or workshops, pet areas, dorm rooms, personal gyms, or locker rooms. So this is a neat little product if you have a small area that you want to kind of disinfect a little bit and deactivate some of those airborne bacteria, viruses, and allergens, especially if it's a smelly area such as like a laundry room, or if you have a small office or something like that.
And again, I might update this, but this is a zero ozone product. That digital mock-up there is actually a zoomed in, mock-up of the carbon, because the carbon bricks are sitting right behind the front of that grill. So this is a zero ozone product.
MSeries for UV ductless. So we're really pushing hard on this product. We've always have been pretty successful with the MSeries for mini splits. Mini splits are extremely popular, especially here in the Northeast and in New England. So we started off with ASHRAE recommendations and how they recommend that you use UVGI technology to kill bacteria and viruses. We know we do have some competition out there that pushes ionization for mini splits. That is not what ASHRAE recommends. They recommend that you use UVGI that's only found in UVC lamps. Our MSeries are UVC lamps for mini splits. So it comes with two 7-inch UV lamps, and it does keep mold away from fan, coil, and other surfaces. You can mount that over the blower wheel or on the coils, depending on your preference there. You do have the options to add 1 or 2 lamp on your installation, depending on basically your room of the mini split. If you don't have the room to add 2, you do have the option just to put 1 in there if you want. It does have a 3-year system warranty on it, 1-year lamp life warranty. If you're doing your annual maintenance on your mini splits, just pull out the lamp each year and replace it each year. It does have a visual/audible lamp out alarm, so it will let you know when the lamp is no longer efficient as well. And it does have a 110/240 VAC auto sensing ability too. It is super compact and high intensity, and it does stop bad odors as well. This is super popular product, and it is easy to install and does a lot of good, especially on mini splits, which a lot of people know that the blower wheel, drain pan, these things get very nasty and dirty, especially in restaurants, especially in places where people are cooking, homes that people are cooking or smoking that have pets. Even when they don't, these things do build up quite a bit of junk in these things. So it's definitely good to have something in there to help mitigate a lot of that buildup. We'll go ahead and jump to the next. So the Orion is our ion generator that we did speak about a little bit, to put before your air filter there. So that does improve air filtration. It does enhance any air filter, binds small airborne particles. It does mount internally or externally on HVAC. Great for ice machines and PTAC units as well. Notable options: it can, mount internally or externally, and it does have a magnetic mount option as well. We'll go ahead and jump to the next. So we wanted to go through our full line of products and kind of show you everything that we do have to offer. Paul, I think I've gone through most of this with you before. As far as our filter boxes, we do have MERV 11, MERV 13 filters. We do have the straight throughs, the right angles, and the support boxes. We can paint these boxes to the color of the equipment, or we can leave these galvanized or just paint them white, depending on your guys' preference. We can also put logos on these boxes as well. And I do believe, they are silkscreen printed on the boxes as well.
I do like the support box. It's a nice box.
That's my unsung hero.
Yeah. You guys move a lot of them?
I do with my one wholesaler who has branches across upstate New York and Pennsylvania. That was actually the MSeries UV kit was their first launch product over 3-4 years ago. And then the next product was the support box and the advantages. So they slowly scaled up because they were dipping their toe in the water for IAQ. But they already had another filtration partner, but they couldn't get a top quality filter box like the support box there. That design was amazing. And they immediately, reason why, really they just let the contractors answer it. The guy's like, that's gonna become my best solution package. So yes, so they have 2 contractors from the launch, went right in, color matched, logos on the door, so the wholesaler had to bring him into stock because, hey, I got 2 dealers ready to go. So the support box is a beautiful design.
What's the duct openings? The duct openings, are they adjustable?
Yeah, there's 3 to 4 different SKUs, and when they ship it to you, the flanges around the openings are not mounted, so you can then obviously determine that. But and there's access doors in the front and the back, so it doesn't matter if the footprint is getting access to the filter. And again, you can get them so stripped out where, obviously recommend, our standard application is powder coat white, fully insulated. But we've had guys order them galvanized, no insulation too, if they wanted to. But it's really the best solution is make sure they're already insulated on the inside. And all of our stuff comes already ready to go with the filter in it too. So, and we have the pressure drop graphs to prove that our filters do not have a lot of issues that other people's filters have. And the reason why that 32-foot image in there is the reason why. We have 32 feet length of pleated filter in there. So because of the increased surface area, we don't have to weave it as tight and constrict it to reach that MERV 11, MERV 13 classification for IAQ. So that's it's a hero.
Yeah, no, it's very popular. I have a couple of distributors here in New Hampshire and Massachusetts that both use those.
Are we doing commercial today, Ron?
Paul, did you want to get into commercial or?
Just so you know it's available. Oh, you need.
I'm good. I'm good with commercial.
Okay. So, yeah, Sky, if you want to take this down, we'll do a Q&A real quick and
Absolutely.
wrap it up.
Stand by. All right, and we're shutting down. So great training today, Ron.